Today I want to show you some items that I've thrifted and then flipped them. And some of the items that I'm going to start off by showing you are items that I've already flipped, so to speak. And then I have two items that I'm going to flip with you today. And so come on, let's jump in this video and let's do these thrifted flips. The first item that I flipped were these two glass jars. The beading on the side reminded me of milk glass, so I decided to paint them white. And with some chalk paint and just a little bit of labor, I think they turned out beautifully. This next item, I'm sure, was a magazine rack, but I saw it as something different. I love the scalloped edging around the bottom of it. And again, I painted it with some chalk paint white, and I have a vision for how I want to use it in my kitchen. I love the detail at the top of it, and I'm really pleased with how the whole thing turned out. This next item is this beautiful tall glass vase. I love the swirling around the neck of it, and I also love the beautiful shape of the vase. To flip this one, it was very simple. I added some beautiful silk stems that I got from Tuesday Mornings. The colors are beautiful, and the long stems really accent the elongation of the vase itself. The shortness of the hydrangea buds also allow you to be able to see the swirling around the neck of it, and I think this turned out beautifully as well. This next one you saw in my DIY coat rack video, and it is this glass jar with the burlap rope handle. I added some burlap to the inside and then added some stems of eucalyptus and Queen Anne's lace. And once again, this flower arrangement turned out beautiful as well. I love the hints of dark colors that will be perfect for the fall. And this item, this old vintage looking telephone, is actually a working clock. I painted it white and antiqued it just a bit, and then I left the cord the color that it was to give it a more realistic look. And it turned out really, really nice. I do wish that I could change the face of this clock, which comes out as a matter of fact and works by battery. But until I find something else, this will work just fine. I think it looks beautiful. This next item is a wreath that's made out of feathers. And this DIY flip was really simple because all I did was add some burlap ribbon to it and hung it from the mirror in my foyer. And it gives just the right soft look to the entire look of the foyer. The feathers are light and beautiful, and I think it looks beautiful there with my little mouse and her basket of apples. It's such a welcoming piece for our foyer. This next item was an old framed scripture, one of my favorites from Romans 8:28. This is interesting because it was given to the deacon of a church by his pastor and some of the other members, and they all signed the back of it. And I add my signature to the back, the date that I bought it, and I just wanted to preserve it because this is something that was given to someone, and even though it ended up in the thrift store, in my home, it ended up in my curio with my bust of Jesus and the Virgin Mary. I painted the outer edges of the frame with a creamy chalk paint white, and I left the interior that antique look. This piece was a roadside find. I found it on the curb in my neighborhood, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to turn it into a vanity for my youngest daughter's room. This is her room, and I thought that it would look really, really nice on this wall right here. I thought that she could use it to store her jewelry pieces and also to sit down and do her little face mask and maybe even braid her 2 ponytails at night before bed. So I thought we would DIY this one together. I began by sanding down the top of it, hoping to be able to expose a nice wood tone underneath, and I did. I was pleasantly surprised. After sanding it down, I began to paint it with Chalk Paint White by Waverly. It took me 3 coats of paint, and before painting it, I sprayed it with polyurethane to keep that cherry wood color from bleeding through onto my white. It was really hot outside, but I was determined to get this done, and I was excited to see the finished product. After 3 coats of paint, it turned out beautifully, and I used my sander to sand off any paint that may have gotten along the edges. Next, I reassembled the mirror. Being able to take it out was really easy for painting and allowed me to be able to paint the piece without the risk of getting paint on my mirror. I found out it would be a lot easier if I took off the sweaty gloves. After reapplying my mirror, it was time to reattach all of the pieces and tighten up the vanity to make sure it was nice and sturdy. And then I used a small piece of sandpaper to distress it along the edges. look, guys, look how beautiful this turned out. I used some clear polyurethane on the top to preserve that beautiful natural wood tone. And now I'm on the hunt for the perfect vanity stool. I think it turned out beautifully. This next piece was a framed piece of artwork that was originally from Kirkland's and sold for over $200. It was $79 at the thrift store, but it was half off that day. Originally, I was going to paint the frame in a creamy white, but I decided to leave it in the wood tone color that it was in. And I'm glad I did, and you'll see why soon. I used the spray chalkboard paint to paint the interior of the painting. It went on nice and evenly and did a great job. Look how leaving the frame in its natural wood tone color makes the chalkboard paint pop. I knew I wanted wording for my menu board, so I used my Silhouette Cameo to print out the word menu along with some other special things that I wanted to go on the board. If you don't have a Silhouette or a Cricut, you can always use press-on letters. The work was tedious, but it was well worth it in the end. And there you go, guys. What do you think? I think it turned out beautifully. If you decide to do your own DIY menu board or just chalkboard, go to your local thrift store and find a framed painting or just a frame. You can always have a piece of wood cut to fit it, and then use some chalkboard paint and your lettering, and there you'll have it. Thanks for stopping by Pretty Little Pleasures. If this is your first time stopping by, we'd love it if you'd subscribe. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up. You guys comment down in the comments section, and also hit that notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload a new video, which is usually on Friday evenings and up ready for you on Saturday mornings. You guys be blessed, and remember, it's all the little things in life that give us pretty little pleasures. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you.